Good day, it's Tribe. I hope you're doing fantastic today. So, we are going to be talking about something that's often misunderstood. We're going to talk about autism spectrum disorder or ASD. You might have heard this before or heard this word before, but what does it really mean? Let's make it simple. So, autism spectrum is a neurodevelopmental condition that means it's connected to how the brain develops and processes information. It doesn't mean that someone who's on the autism spectrum can't think or learn. It just means that they think differently and they experience the world differently and in their own unique way. So, autism typically affects or presents itself in four areas. So, we've got the communication, which is how a person uses language. So, we're talking about the expressive language, how you express yourself, like I'm doing right now. And we're talking about the receptive communication, the receptive language, when you're getting feedback from people, communicating with people, how are you receiving information, right? Are you understanding what they mean? Are you able to follow through on certain instructions that are given? Then we have the second part, which is the social interaction, the ability to make friends, the ability to connect with others, understand nonverbal cues, which otherwise people refer to as body language. If someone is going like this, you can see perhaps they're uncomfortable, or you're saying something and they're like, oh, hmm. So you're able to understand and realize that they're engaged and they're sharing the interest based off of their nonverbal communication or their social cues. But if you're not able to always break this down, that might also another way that autism um, shows itself. And the behaviors, here we're looking at the repetition of actions, having strong routines and deep interest. And the other one is sensory processing. So we all process our sensory stimuli or inputs differently. So here, what we may see is like it's a spectrum. We could have hyper, which becomes hypersensitive. It's too much, or hypo, it's too little. Therefore, I'm seeking. So a child might be seeking hyper sounds by banging on materials or items so that they can feel stimulated in terms of their auditory input, which is the hearing part. Or if they are hypersensitive, when they are loud noises, you may find them closing their ears, trying to move away from that, really experiencing some difficulty in such a stimulating environment. And then sometimes another example I could give you would be some children with autism may avoid making eye contact at all. So you might be trying to, hi, how are you doing? And they are looking away, not really making eye contact or recognizing that you are there and preferring to play quietly. Then on the other side, you might have another child with autism really preferring to talk continuously about something that they are interested in, passionately, dinosaurs, trains, extended periods of time. These experiences are very different for these two children, but they both have autism. So, just another example to help put it into context for you guys. So, autism, some quick facts that I've experienced in my line of work. Autism is common in boys than it is in girls. So research, I need to probably just verify this, but research shows that one in, I think it must be 34 or 36 boys would be diagnosed with autism. And for the girls, I think it was one in 140, 144 would be diagnosed with autism as well. So, excuse me. Girls are often diagnosed a little bit later because what happens is that the way females behave or the way girls behave can be masked as a child's personality and shyness. So it takes time before people actually realize there could be something else going on there. So most of the children are diagnosed with autism around age 4. However, some of the symptoms can already be present from around 18 months to 24 months. You can start noticing some of the symptoms as early as that, and you can engage with your pediatrician if you're seeing that there may be some developmental delays somewhere. So, just what do we need to do when we have a family member with an autistic child or suspecting that the kid might be autistic, a school having a child with symptoms that are similar to autism. What's your job and what's your task as a community member, as a person? Remember, you're part of this global village, right? So autism isn't something that you want to fix. It's just a different way of experiencing the world. And frankly, you and I, we all experience the world very uniquely. So we're not trying to fix ourselves, are we? So just to get off that section where people try to fix and make children that are neurodiverse, neurotypical, which means similar to other children, the majority really. So, with the right support, children and adults that are autistic can thrive and they can share their gifts and live full, meaningful lives, right? So, I'm encouraging you to start the conversations, get a better understanding. If you've got a family member, someone you know, just get a better understanding of asking them how's the routine, what helps their son to thrive. If you know a couple of things, recommend or gently point them in the right direction as opposed to being judgmental and telling them that they've spoiled the child because they're not toilet trained yet or the child is not speaking in sentences, therefore they need to be practicing a little bit more. Sometimes our feedback might be very demeaning for people and really judgmental that it shuts the door.